Can you give us your opinion on this subject, seeking the intercession of the Virgin Mary? Why do you seek the intercession of Mary?
Pourquoi la prier? C'est tout simple.
Why to seek the intercession of Mary? It is very simple. She received a special favor from God Himself. And to seek intercession is to address a living being like us, who has received a special grace. Her intercession will help us also to have and obtain that grace.
First, the Virgin Mary is the mother of our Lord. And because she's the mother of our Lord, when she intercedes for us, our Lord listens to her quickly.
She is the Mother of God, and I believe that it's not possible that the Blessed Virgin Mary will ask something to her Son and will refuse. She is the Mother of Jesus Christ, the Mother of God, and so whatever she asks of her Son, she will get of Him. That's why I'm praying.
I speak for myself. I ask for the intercession of the Virgin Mary sometimes in desperate cases where I cannot find a solution. It must be said that sometimes we don't believe, we ourselves don't really believe. When you take your rosary in difficult situations and recite it even without thinking, you realize that afterwards you find answers.
When Jesus and his mother were invited to a wedding at Cana, when the wine was finished, she went to see her son, and the son performed the miracle. So through this biblical passage, I have this conviction that whatever she will ask from her son, he will grant. And given that we, as human as we are, we ask something from our mothers, and they grant it. If she asks her son, he's going to give it to me.
He told John on the cross that this is your mother. So I tell myself that it was him who gave us Mary as our mother. So we can also ask her to say to his son, Mom, you see, it's difficult, and since I have the impression that I don't get to your son quickly, you should tell your son that he should please help me.
The person who gave us salvation. We cannot criticize the womb in which He resided until He came to this world. Or to pray to her is to love the Lord. It is to love Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
Moi, je dirais que c'est une question de relation interpersonnelle, en fait.
I would say it is a question of interpersonal relationships. In fact, there are events in life that are painful, and where Mary manifests herself, intervenes in a very discreet way. It could be the occasion of the illness of a loved one. It happened to me, to my dad, who actually went a little far into the countryside. He was all alone for that time, a week, and Mary said to me, "Sit down and pray." And this intercession apparently healed my dad, who was far away. And the nurse called me and said, "Your dad almost died. We don't know what happened, but we saved him in extreme." And for me, it was a trigger. It was in my 20s. She is really attentive. She is present. And at the same time, it is not her who replaces the action of God. Of course, she's just near, like an attentive mother. This is what I would say, a mother who loves all her children. I also had an experience in Egypt with Our Lady of Ziatun, who first appeared to Muslims in silence, without saying anything, without a word. And then those Muslims went to call other people from the same neighborhood, including Christians, Coptic Christians, who said, "This is Mary." So Mary, during those 70s, was the one who really brought together Christians and Muslims who came together to pray, seeking her intercession. She has a universal maternal action. What I always say to myself is that she did not refuse anything to Jesus. And since she did not refuse anything to him, what can he refuse to her? Very often I say to Jesus, But Jesus, what are you going to refuse to your mother? She did not refuse anything to you. What are you going to refuse her?
Pourquoi ne pas aller directement à... Why not go directly to Jesus? Why passing through Mary? Why do we even have to pass through someone?
C'est pas obligatoire de passer par Marie.
It is not obligatory to go through Mary or through a saint or people who have known who are certainly in heaven. It is not an obligation, but it is in fact a sign of communion. Jesus is not jealous of his power, of his glory, of his love. He likes it when it circulates. He likes it to share it, and therefore it is not obligatory, of course, to pass through others to get to him. He is the only mediator, and all the other mediations are in his own mediation. They are all subordinate to him. We are connected to each other by the very edge of the soul, by our existences, by what makes our life concrete. We are close to each other. The way I live, in fact, has repercussions on others. What we do, whether as good or bad, always has repercussions on others.
Bien comme en mal.
Comment est-ce qu'on peut comprendre la médiation? How can one understand the mediation of Jesus in relation to the mediation of Mary?
Ce qui est très très clair, c'est qu'il n'y a qu'un médiateur.
What is very clear is that there is only one mediator, Jesus Christ. And Jesus is not jealous of his mediation. He shares it in the same sense that he allows us to have recourse to mediations called derivatives of the only mediator. And those derivatives cannot take the place of the mediation of Jesus. That is, if in your prayer you deliberately, consciously put Jesus aside, it is no longer a Christian prayer. It is obvious. What will be important is to pray to Mary by telling her to pray for us. This is to say, we address Mary, asking her to pray for us. We do not ask Mary to answer such prayer. We ask Mary to be with us, our helper, our protector, to pray to Jesus. She is on our side. She is human. She is not a fourth person of the Trinity. We don't have the choice between Jesus, the Spirit, the Father, or Mary. That's another order. But it's true that it takes a little Christian education to put things back a little bit. At the same time, I think that scene from the sky, as long as there are no bad intentions, it is not bad because they are very united. Between them, the communication passes very well. It is we who have a problem. It is for us that this poses a problem.
Quand j'étais libéré, j'étais dans le désert, j'avais trouvé des...
When I was in the desert, I found some little shells. I took 10 in my pocket. I was walking around with them, passing them from one hand to the other, from pocket to pocket, to pray my rosary. And lately, I made myself a rosary with a fabric, the same fabric that protected my head from the sun. But then, I was able to tie knots and made a delicate that I've kept in my pocket for the last few months. And with that, I entrusted to Mary my daily prayer with the mysteries that I know, the mysteries of the Rosary. I also invented new ones when I was in the desert. So we can say that I went ahead of the reform of Pope John Paul II, who had added the luminous mystery. I was praying and carrying everything in prayer. And given that I had these strings of knots, I entrusted my situation to Mary, who unties the knots, the prayer advocated by Pope Francis. With the knots, I was saying to Mary, I present to you these big knots. It's up to you to untie it. When I was released, I don't know if it was a providence or coincidence. It was on October 7th, the feast day of Our Lady of the Rosary. It was on that day that they announced to me the release, that they told me it's over. And on the 8th, I was actually released. So I think she listened to me. It must have given her a job because it lasted at least 2 years, but in the end, she managed to untie it. It was a big knot that was untied by this trust, this prayer, and I believe that Mary interceded when we prayed to her.